Tonight's class, we're working on shoulders. And to begin, I'm going to sit in a chair. You'll need a strap, a blanket, and perhaps a pillow for tonight's class. So to begin, I'm going to take something for underneath my feet, because my feet, I know, will not come to the floor for sitting in a chair. You don't have to sit in a chair. You can stand and you can sit on the floor as well. Whatever is comfortable, really, for you. So I'm going to get my strap ready. And so to sit in a chair, what we should do is I kind of like to roll kind of forward, or just hinge forward, I should say. Put my bum to the back of the chair and then come up to sit flat back in the chair. Make sure my ribs are down nice and cozy onto my, just basically you don't want your ribs hinged and your back compressed. So just gentle ribs. And the first thing we'll do is come to the breath, okay? So let's close the eyes. Let's come to center, or bring attention to the breath internally. Take a big breath in through the nose, and a big sigh out through the mouth. Again, take a big breath in and sigh it out through your mouth. I'm going to do one more of those. Big breath in. I'm going to let the belly expand, let the ribs expand on a big inhale. Keeping the eyes closed. And returning to a more neutral or natural breath for you. Notice if you're holding any tension in your belly, let that go. And let the breath move you. And let your belly expand on the inhale. Notice the breath. Notice how your body responds to the breath. Sometimes when we focus a little bit too much on the breath, we get a little tense, or the heart starts to beat a little quicker. So just noticing, and it's not to judge, it's just becoming more aware of our body and how it responds to the mind, to the breath. Just really trying to slow everything down. That to-do list, just put it to the side. You will come back to it later. But right now, we just want to give ourselves some attention. Focusing on the breath to just calm us down. And with the eyes closed, we're able to pay a little bit better attention to what's going on inside, mentally, but both emotionally and physically as well. How do you feel just sitting here? Is it comfortable? Is it not? Perhaps you need to change the way that you are sitting because it's not comfortable for you tonight. So as we sit on our chair or the floor, even if you're standing, you want to ground into the feet or just feel the earth actually beneath the feet. I want to feel the belly nice and loose. I want to feel this extension up through my spine, but I don't want to extend from the front of the body. I want to feel that extension and expansion from the back of the body. So I like to tuck my chin a little, feel the elongation of the neck. Take some breaths in, breaths out. And if you're sitting on a chair, it's actually really nice to just let your arms fall down by their sides. And let go of any tension in the face, in the cheeks. Soft smile on the face. Does wonders for the mood. So I'm just still coming to the breath. And I'm going to gently open my eyes. And the first thing I want you to do, since we are working on the shoulders, and part of the shoulders, of course, is the shoulder blade, I want you to get a sense of your shoulder blades. So if you could reach your arm behind, and you could feel probably the edge of your shoulder blade. Maybe if you can even reach, you can even feel the edge of the shoulder blade that's closest to the spine. You can just follow it up. So you get a sense of the shape and how the shoulder blade feels. Okay? Okay, so to begin, we're simply going to roll our shoulders. So first we just want to, and you may have to come out a little bit on your chair for this. So to begin, we're just going to roll them. Simply roll the shoulders however is comfortable for you. So I'm just rolling them up and back. And just move with the breath. So tonight's class is pretty gentle. You'll definitely be working and feeling work in the shoulders. But just be gentle with yourself. Take your time. I'm going to go around now in the opposite direction. And as I do this now, I'm going to pay closer attention to my shoulder blades. So I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades together first. So when I say squeeze, I don't mean grip and hold. I just mean a gentle squeeze, bringing the shoulder blades together in the back. And then I'm going to roll the shoulder blades up. And then I'm going to protract the shoulder blades or open the shoulder blades to bring them down. Okay? So I'm going to retract or press the shoulder blades together in the back and then move the shoulder blades up and then bring the shoulder blades apart. And now we'll just do it in the opposite direction. So we're just going to bring the shoulder blades up and now squeeze the shoulder blades together and move the shoulder blades down. So up, and it's really neat to do this in a mirror too, to just watch what's happening in the shoulders, shoulder blades. So up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and come down. Okay. So we just rotate the shoulders. So we're just beginning by getting a bit of mobility in the shoulders. Yeah, and just kind of getting your brain into the shoulders and all of the ways that they move. So we're going to bring the arms out now forward, and we're going to do the rhomboid push-up that's sitting down. So basically, you can do one arm at a time or both. So you're reaching the arms forward, but it's the shoulder blades, so they protract and then they come together. So my arms are not moving, it's my shoulder blades that are moving my arms. So my shoulder blades are coming together, squeezing together and apart. I don't know if I'm squeezing together. And if you're not getting this right away, because sometimes people find it really hard to just move in the shoulder blades or try to getting their brain there. So sometimes it helps to put your hands on the wall. Sometimes it's comfortable about shoulder width height or maybe a little bit lower, it's up to you. And so you might find that easier to bring the shoulder blades together and then shoulder blades apart on the wall. Take a break whenever you need it. So shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart. So doing that with both arms, or you can do one at a time. So just a rhomboid push-up without the load of our weight or being on our hands and knees. So just do one more of those, take a breath. Remember, when things get hard tonight, you really want to focus on breathing, okay? Not gripping, holding, clenching anywhere. So while you're doing all the movements, move with the breath, let the belly be relaxed. So we did protraction, retraction, we did some rolling, which is retraction, protraction, and now let's do some internal and external rotation. So moving the arm bone in the shoulder socket. So I'm just going to do my one arm first. So I'm going to start with the right arm, and I'm really going to initiate that movement in the shoulder socket, okay? The arm bone moving in the socket. So taking some breaths in and breaths out, and allowing the rest of your body to relax. Breaths in. So now I'm just opening my arm. I'm just moving my arm in different planes, and you can do that. Notice how that feels. You might feel like there's a little bit of clunking and crunching perhaps. So just, if that's happening, just don't go as far. So some internal, external rotation. Moving the arm down and out to the side. And I'm going to stay on this right arm now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lift the arm up without bringing the ribs. So we work on this a lot. And bring the arm down. Now, so as the arm comes up, the scapula kind of rotates with it, right? It rotates up. And if you're really stuck, or if your scapula is not moving in the range of motion that it's meant to be, then you may notice that your shoulder tends to go up to your ear, and that's just maybe an indication that your scapula is not moving in the full range that it possibly could. So we're just raising the arm up, take a breath, and come down. So now I'm just going to open it a little bit wider. Perhaps you're going to need to open up the palm a little bit and come down. And now I'm coming out to the side, palm facing forward or palm going up towards the sky, and then come down. So I'm just getting all this movement in the arm without the ribs helping and without the shoulder raising up to the ears. Okay, so we're just moving in these different ranges of motion. And now we're even going to bring the arm over now diagonal. So I'm not moving the body yet. And then I'm going to do a little twist. So just in thoracic spine. And then I'm going to do protract or reach that shoulder blade forward or the arm forward. And just take a breath here. And come down. And give that a little shake. And now with the arm out forward again with the palm facing up, we're just going to open the arm out to the side. So open the arm out and then come forward and perhaps sit down a little and reach back so you can feel that the shoulder blade is retracting back. So I'm just doing all different ranges. And I'm going to lift it up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to come over again. I'm going to reach it across my body again. And a little twist and then a protraction. So reaching the arm out a little bit more. And come in. So now let your two arms relax by the side and see what you notice. So you may feel one arm is quite a bit longer now than the other. So just releasing a lot of tension around the shoulders. So we'll go to the other side, and I have to check because I'll never remember the order I was doing these in. So we'll start with a we did a rhomboid push-up. We'll do the internal and external rotation. So I'm just internally and externally rotating. So really think about the movement coming from the arm bone in the shoulder socket. So you can try different ranges or different planes. So I'm going to try forward, and then I'm coming out by the side. Just noticing how it feels. Don't tense anywhere. This is just getting some mobility, nice and relaxing. Your arms, your shoulders are going to feel great after this. So I'm just bringing the arm a little bit closer now. About shoulder width height, a little lower. And just opening the arm out again, and perhaps bringing the arm a little lower. Okay, so now we're just going to lift the arm. So take a big inhale and then exhale, lift the arm. So only as far as the arm will go without the ribs coming along for the ride like this. So bringing it up, and we also don't want the shoulder coming up to the ear like this. So bringing the arm down and just the palm is like you're gonna clap your hands this way and you're gonna lift. You can just hold there if you want and reach and come down. And now a little wider. And now a little wider out to the side and bringing the arm up. Whew. Take a breath and come down. And now bringing the arm palm facing up and opening. So just, it doesn't have to be shoulder. It could be a little lower. And we're just opening up to the side, retracting the shoulder blade in the back. Take a breath. Come forward, perhaps a little lower. Back the hand now is going towards the wall. You'll kind of get a sense of where the arm should be in terms of how externally or internally rotated the shoulder should be. So I'm just coming up. And now I'm going to reach across and then with a little twist into thoracic spine. And then I'm going to protract and let the shoulder blade or the hand reach forward. And come back. And did I get everything? I think I did. We'll just roll the shoulders. And then relax both arms to your sides. Take a breath, perhaps even give your wrists a bit of mobility or exercise here by just bringing the wrist forward and back. So don't clench the hands too much, just a light fist. And I'm really trying to initiate the movement from the wrists, and I'm just coming up and down. So our shoulders, there's like 17 muscles that are attached to our shoulder blade. And so anything that's happening in the shoulder blade can affect, lots of parts of the body. So the arms, the wrists, the ribs, they're attached to the ribs, the clavicle, the neck. Now moving my wrists from side to side. So we are going to be on our hands and knees. So I'd like to do a little bit of wrist strengthening before that. So I'm just moving my wrists now from side to side, not clenching hard. I'm really initiating the movement, initiating from the wrists. And now I'm just going to do some circles. And do the other direction. And I recommend doing these throughout the day or whenever you think about it. As well with the ankles, I often do these throughout the day. Taking breaths in, and breaths out. Okay, I just want to extend the arms now out to your sides. So reach the arms. Don't worry if you can't get your elbows completely straight. I want you to just reach your fingertips. So you're reaching your fingers back towards you. Just reaching out to the sides. You can tuck the chin so to elongate the neck and the back. We don't want the ribs to extend, keep poking out, right? And just reaching, and then coming together or bringing the arms shoulder width distance apart. And the same thing, I just want you to reach the fingers back and now reach the fingers down to the floor and reach the fingers back towards your face. And down, and forward, or up, I should say, fingers up towards the ceiling. And now extend the arms out to the sides. Really pressing, pressing, pressing. And release. That's pretty. Okay. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff planned with the shoulders, so I have to keep looking at my notes. So taking some breaths here. Noticing perhaps letting the arms just come down to your sides and notice how they feel now. Taking some breaths in, reminding the body to relax. No tension in the face. Trying to even reminding your traps up here to try to stay relaxed through this class as well, because oftentimes we clench a lot here in our traps. So even like giving them a little touch and a massage just to remind them to stay relaxed. Okay, so if you need to change, if you're sitting, you want to stand or whatever, you can go ahead and do that now as well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our right arm and we're going to place the hand on our opposite shoulder. And so that this arm stays pretty flat, okay? And I'm going to use the other arm just to kind of guide or keep my shoulder in place. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the arm nice and slow, and you're probably going to feel some resistance. That's kind of what we want to feel. It shouldn't be just like, oh, this is easy. It's the shoulder blades are pretty flat, perhaps a little protracted because of the way that we have our arms. So the shoulder blade's going to come out a little bit. So you're keeping it there, and now you're going to open the hand and close. So moving with your breath, open and closed. I'm doing this in front of a mirror so I can see if I'm right angle, so open. And so the next time you have it open, just keep it open. You should be feeling resistance now. The next time you got it closed, keep it closed. And now open, keep it open. And close. And it's really hard to relax this other arm. And relax that. Whew. Notice how both arms feel. Take a breath and move over into the other side. So again, we're just taking the hand on top of the shoulder and bringing the elbow up to shoulder width height. And taking this arm now just to support it and keeping that arm there. And now, and there's a bit of protraction, right? So the shoulder blades kind of, it's flat and it's a little bit out, a little bit more. And so then we're going to open and close. Up and close. I'm trying to remind myself to not hold my belly, not be clenching in the face, and not putting so much energy in the arm, the opposite arm, trying to relax that a bit more. So this time you're going to keep it open and breathe. And close, keep it closed and breathe. And open, and take a breath. And close, and take a breath. And relax that. Oh, you might want to give your shoulders a roll or your hands a shake. Okay, so the next part is where you need your strap. And again, you can stand up if you want, or you can stay seated. And all we're going to do with the strap to begin is I'm just going to take my strap. I'm going to bring my elbows down to my sides, so my hands are about hip or shoulder width distance apart, and I'm holding the strap so my fingers are up towards the ceiling. Okay, so and what am I going to do? Oh yeah, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to reach the arms forward. Sounds easy, right? So we're just reaching the arms forward, trying to straighten the elbows out, and you're going to be met with some resistance there, and that's where you want to stay. Take a breath and come in. So relax the shoulders, invite the traps, the neck to relax. Bring the hands, take a breath, take a breath in, and then on the exhale, reach. So you're just reaching the arms forward, but you're kind of pulling the strap apart at the same time. And come in. I'll do that one more time. Reach, 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 pulling the strap apart. And come in. And now let's take the strap just a little wider and do the same thing. Take a breath, exhale, reach the arms out. Reach, reach, reach. So you can probably feel lots of stuff going on in your shoulder blades, perhaps even a little burning. So come back, we'll do that one again. And when you reach, breathe. Relax the traps, relax the jaw. And come in, and perhaps a little wider. Okay, so I'm gonna reach again. Reach, reach, reach. And like I'm pulling the strap apart, tucking the chin. I don't want strain in the neck. And come in. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Reach again. Reach, reach, reach. And come in. So let's just take this strap now and hold it pretty wide. We're just going to bring the shoulders overhead and come back. So even if you want to stand up for this part, I'm just going to bring the shoulders. So you may want, just try it different. You may want it really wide, right? You can try a little closer if you want, but you want to easily get the arms back and around. If it does not come all the way around, don't worry about it. Just do your best. There's all kinds of different reasons why this might be difficult, so don't worry. So just gonna do one more, take a breath in. Exhale, and then come over again. So I'm gonna remain standing for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this strap again, but a little bit wider than not wide and not shoulder width, so somewhere in between. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the strap out in front of me, so directly kind of across from my shoulders here. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna start with the right arm and I'm gonna bring it back at a 90-degree angle. So just like you had a bow and arrow, okay? I'm gonna pull back, and as I pull back, my other arm kind of comes forward, and just a little bit of a twist. So if you are standing, ensure that we're standing in a nice, easy, aligned for you position, okay? So we don't want the hips swaying forward. We want the hips, the shoulders nicely stacked over the ankles, okay? And a little bit of space in the knees, so don't lock out the knees. So again, bring the arms up to shoulder height, and I'm gonna start with the right, and I'm gonna bring the shoulder and pull back, and then come back. So again, I'm pulling back, there's a little twist, and be gentle, okay? It might be really your elbow may have a hard time getting up to that 90. Just play with it, don't strain yourself. Make sure nothing hurts or feels weird, okay? That needs to stop. Okay, so I'm pulling this one back now. To the left and coming forward. Again, left, pulling back, forward. So you're really pulling back, but you don't want the shoulder to come up to the ears, okay? So again, my left arm is not, it's a little funky, my shoulder. Back and come forward. And let's do one more on that side. Pull back. And forward. So shake your arms. Take a seat again. Or you may want to come back to this, or just take a breather. You may want to shake out your arms, shake out your wrists, whatever you feel like you need. Go ahead, come back to the breath. Okay. Okay, so we will take the strap again, and this time all we're going to do is we're gonna bring the strap up. So my hands are, you know, pretty wide, but not as wide as I could go for sure. The comfortable distance for you, okay? And so we're going to bring the shoulder or the arms up without the ribs coming to the party. Okay, so come down, let's start again, bringing the arms up, arms are moving, shoulder blades are moving. And now all we want to do is make little circles with our shoulders. Okay, so like really think about the shoulders initiating the movement, not your arms. Okay, I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive, but so really gentle circles, small circles going around in one way, one direction. And I'm going to bring them around the other direction. So as you can see, it's a very small movement. And go back again in the other direction, and then counterclockwise and clockwise. Yeah. And come down, shake that out, take a breath. Okay, now we're coming down to the hands and knees. So this time, so we just did a lot of work on the shoulders, but now we're going to add a little bit of load to the shoulders. So some of them the same movements, but now on our hands and knees. So come down on your hands and knees and put a blanket underneath your knees if you need to. I think everybody here in tonight's class does know different modifications you can do with hands and knees. Are not good for you. Okay, so hands and knees. So bringing the hands about underneath your shoulders and the knees are about hip distance apart. So coming down, I want you to open your fingers nice and wide and just make sure that we're not lowering and collapsing in the belly like this. So I just like to remind my ribs to stay flat against my body. So my hands are, now if I said hands underneath the shoulders, that's what I usually say, but if that's really uncomfortable for you, please, you can widen them up a little bit. So not too big of a deal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna begin with those rhomboid push-ups like we did earlier, right? Retract and then push away. So we're letting the shoulder blades initiate the movement. So we're pulling the shoulder blades together. The toes can be tucked or flat here, by the way. And then we're just going to let the shoulder blades come apart. And then the shoulder blades are coming together, a little squeeze, and then apart. Shoulder blades together, and shoulder blades apart. Relaxed face, relaxed rest of the body. So just really coming down, retracting, opening the shoulder blades up and protracting. Always take a rest, okay, if you're getting tired. Okay, so now I'm going to open the arms a little tiny bit wider. I'm going to continue with that movement, okay? If your hands need to change a little bit, if you're not completely forward when you open your arms, that's fine. Just let your wrists move and do what they need to do. So I'm just going to squeeze and apart. Squeeze and apart. So I'd like to inhale, coming down, and exhale, pushing up. We'll do one more. And perhaps now you can even do a little wider. I don't know. Let's try it. A little wider. So now my hands are almost off my mat. And I'm going to try this. So shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart. Shoulder blades together and shoulder blades apart. Staying with the breath. Think about the wonderful work you're doing for your shoulders. And we'll do one last one and then push out of that. And if you want, you can come down into your nice child's pose. And I like to have My legs extended to each side of the mat. Bring the toes together. Come back and sit in between. Let your belly relax between the legs and reach the arms. And you can bring the head down to the floor, but not necessary. You can bring your hands on top of your two fists or on the pillow. So taking a couple breaths there. And take one last inhale. And exhale. Come up. Or you can stay down if you're still tired. So again, we're bringing the hands around hands and knees, hands underneath the shoulders. And now we're going to go into, see if we can do those circles with the shoulder blades and arms on the floor. Okay, so remember we can squeeze the shoulder blades together and then draw them down your back and then up to neutral, or actually, yeah, and then let's try that again. So I'm bringing the blades together, moving the blades down, and then coming back up. And then the other direction would be to drop the shoulder blades together, right? Move the shoulder blades. Anyway, I think I'm just confusing myself and you guys. So you want to do circles. So shoulder blades down and around and up. Shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades move down the back and around. And around. So the other one would be start in a protracted position and drop the shoulder blades, I don't know, and move the shoulder blades up or back. So however it feels like you're doing circles with your shoulder blades, because I'm having a little bit of difficulty explaining it. So we'll just do a couple, however you're doing it. So I'm collapsing the shoulders and letting the shoulder blades come down and around. Okay, so a child's pose, or just come up and sit up like I am and take a couple breaths. Perhaps you'll need to shake out your arms or even give the wrists a little rub. So if your wrists are bothering you right now, I think sometimes it might be good to come down on your forearms, but possibly on blocks instead of coming right down to the floor for these, okay? So shaking the arms, we're coming down again. So again, if your wrists have had enough, coming onto your forearms might be a possibility here, but I would bring your forearms up on two blocks. I should probably try that, but okay, so hands and knees. And I want you to get that kind of external rotation going on in your shoulders, okay? So that like wrapping around feeling, so you feel nice and secure in your shoulders. So I'm coming down like that. I want nice, stable shoulders. And now what I'm gonna do is I got my toes tucked, my ribs are in, I don't want to collapse in the belly, remember? And so all I'm gonna do is lift the knees just slightly off the floor. So I'm hovering here. We may be clenching the belly a little too much, okay? Keeping the chin tucked, and I'm just hovering, 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 and come down. Take a breath, take a relax, whatever you need. Take a breath. And we're going to do it again. I'm just going to hover the knees. Try to breathe. Try to breathe. Don't let the shoulders collapse. You're pushing out of the floor. And hovering and relax. Come back, sit on your feet. Sometimes I like to tuck my toes here and just sit on my feet. Give them a nice little massage, do a little wiggle so you can move the toes back and forth. And take a breath, of course. Okay. I hope your wrists can handle this. We're going to do it again. Come down onto our hands and knees. And you can go right back into the rhomboid push-up if you want. It's getting the knees off the floor and it's really bad on your wrists. It's causing you any discomfort anywhere. Come back and do those rhomboid push-ups. And if it's not too much on the floor right now, do those rhomboid push-ups sitting up or against the wall, okay? Or any of the other movements that we already did. Okay, so if you're with me on your hands and knees, what you're going to do now is you're going to hover again. So I've got that external rotation, that wrapping going on in my shoulders. My ribs are flat against my body. I'm going to tuck my toes and lift again. And this time I'm going to just sway slightly side to side. So it's not my hips going side to side. It's like I'm moving weight from one shoulder over to the other, or one hand over to the other. Remember to breathe. Do the work on the legs as well, I know. Just a simple rocking side to side. And relax. Come sit back. You give it a shake. You might want to roll your shoulders. Let's probably give our necks a little, because we didn't do anything with the neck. So before we go into the next thing, let's just give our necks a little stretch. And probably, perhaps like a little massage of the traps here, all the muscles going down the neck and into the shoulders. Even the clavicle. So what I want to do is I'm going to look over the right shoulder and then kind of look up. And I'm going to just take both hands and kind of stretch the skin. And look up. And come down, look to the left, look up slightly, and then tear the skin like away in the opposite direction. Release the jaw. Take a breath. Come down. Tuck the chin a little. Just make sure you have that nice long neck in the back. Take a breath. And now just tick-tock the head. So left ear to left shoulder and right ear to right shoulder. Coming back to our breath. Left ear to left shoulder and right ear to right shoulder. Now I'm going to go right into some nice neck circles. Nice and slow, respect the boundaries, okay? Don't go trying to push past them. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And come forward. And we're going to come right down to our hands and knees again. Okay, so this time, what we're going to do is, again, our hands are underneath, and I'm going to show you the two blocks in case that you're wondering. So this might be a good chance, a good opportunity to take them out and show you this. So I can be on my forearms here. The same rules apply. I just don't want to be arching down my back. So just raise in. And for this one, and I'll stay on my blocks here to see how it is. For this one, all I want you to do now is just extend the one leg. So extending that leg, reach out through that heel and come in. And I just want you to do the same thing. So I'm just reaching the other foot back, extending out into the wall with my heel, and come in. And now reach the opposite, the right foot again, and lift. And come down. And then move on to the other side. So again, my knees are underneath my hips, my elbows are underneath my shoulders or thereabouts, maybe a little in front. And then reach the left foot back now. And bring it in. We'll reach it back and reach it up. Notice what's going on in the belly. Are you clenching more than you need to? And come down. Move to the other side and lift up. And come down. So you can start feeling this on the shoulders, I'm sure. I'm going to move the blocks and come back into my hands and knees for the next one. So now we're going to do the same thing. So when we're reaching the foot back, then we're going to raise it, and now we're going to extend the opposite arm. So the right leg is extended and the left arm is extended. So you're just doing that and come back. So when you come over to the other side, we're trying to control all of the weighting and the motion, okay? So just trying to do it with awareness. Notice if your weight is coming over to the one side, trying to keep yourself nice and level. And come down. And remember, do not collapse in the shoulders. So you want that strong, how we say, like wrapped shoulder, nice and strong in the socket. You'll know because there's a hollowness happening. If you touch underneath your armpit, you'll feel like a hollowness. That's kind of an indication that you have it. So again, I'm extending the left leg out now, lifting it up to be about pelvis height. And kind of want the pelvis, we don't want the pelvis to move. We want the pelvis to stay exactly where it is. I'm reaching the right arm. You can hold. You want that stabilizing arm nice and strong. Do not lock out the elbows. And come back. So now we can do both sides. Come down. And move from side to side. Whew. So now I'm going right arm extended, left leg extended, and now I'm going to bring the knee into the elbow. So I do these sometimes without curling, but this time I want you to bring the elbow all the way through. And there's a little curling, but I'm not doing this, okay? So bring it in, bring it out. So now we have a lot of work going on in the stabilizing shoulder because it's bearing the load of our bodies, right? And take a break or move right to the other side. My wrists feel it too. Okay, so this time I want to working on my right shoulder, so wrapping it nice and stable here. And I'm going to extend the right leg. And to start, I'm going to extend, lift, or reach the right arm. Take a breath. Notice if we are starting to hold in all other places, okay? Don't collapse in the shoulder, reach it out. And then come in and out. In, reach out. Move with your breath. Reach in and reach out. Reach in and reach out. I haven't been counting. I'm trying to do it even on both sides. Out. Can we do two more? In and out. And in and out. Child's pose is warranted here. So let's open up the legs, each side of your mat, toes together, and then come into your version of child's pose, whatever it is that you enjoy most. Sometimes I like having something underneath my belly so I can just relax on one side. And then you can turn and land the other cheek halfway. There we go. So as you lay in child's pose, and child's pose is to be relaxing. So if child's pose is not relaxing for you, find a position that is relaxing for you so that you can just come back to your breath, to the moment. And that's a lot of brain work as well. Trying to, get your mind into all the parts of the shoulder and initiating movement with the shoulder blade. So closing your eyes, taking some breaths here. perhaps it is time to come down onto our backs. So come down to your back, however you, the safest possible way for you. Come down on your back. And I'm going to just like come down on my forearms, and then I like to come slowly all the way down. Oh, and perhaps you just want to give your shoulders a rub. Moving down into the arms perhaps, and the wrists. Coming back to the breath, I like to have my knees bent. Sometimes it's nice to have the legs nice and wide and just bring the knees together. Oh, so I'm going to ensure that my shoulder blades are flat in the mat. So it might mean that I have to kind of tuck them under a little bit. And I don't want a flat back. I want a little natural arch in my lower back. Ribs are touching the floor. Just taking a breath here. If you want, you can give yourself a hug, or you can just stay here now, relax, because we are going to be moving into Shavasana right away. If you want one last movement for your shoulders, sometimes it's nice to like grab the opposite shoulder with the opposite arms and just roll from side to side to just get a nice massage on the shoulder blades and the shoulders, at the tops of the shoulders. So you may want to do that for a little bit, or whatever it is that you would like to do before you get comfortable and prepared for Shavasana. So whenever you're ready, we can come to laying down. I think you guys know, nice to have a pillow or something under your head. Nice to have something under your knees sometimes, the knees slightly bent. Butterfly is another option, but having some pillows underneath your legs or legs up the wall. Or taking that roll towel and laying it down onto your spine, or laying it the other way as well, so that's flat on your shoulder blades or across your shoulder blades. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume that you guys are all ready now. So closing your eyes, inviting your body and your mind to relax. Noticing how your shoulders feel now. Notice how your neck or your jaw feels. And just taking some calming breaths. Noticing if there's any tension or gripping around the pelvis or the belly, the lower back even in the pelvic floor. Sometimes we are gripping. So I'm just asking you or inviting you to relax. Relax those muscles. Just focusing on the breath in and out. Inviting your mind to be still. And it's not that there's not going to be thoughts arising. It's just acknowledging the thoughts and coming back. And so that you could just give yourself this 5-6 minutes of complete devotion and relaxation. Devotion to yourself, taking the time to do this for yourself. So invite the whole body to relax. The forehead, the scalp, the ears, the jaw, the cheeks, the nose, the eyes. Invite this lightness. Let go of any gripping anywhere. Bring a little space between the teeth. Perhaps your lips part. And remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Allow your whole body to sink into the floor, but feel light. No gripping in the neck, or in the shoulders. Releasing the chest. Opening the heart center. Allow the belly to be free to rise and fall with the breath. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your arms are sinking into the floor. Wrists relaxing, hands. Fingers perhaps naturally curling towards the palms. Inviting this feeling to move down your spine and into your pelvis. And even envisioning all those muscles losing their grip and becoming more relaxed and let go. Invite that feeling to move around your hips and your buttocks, your thighs. Letting the legs become heavy. That feeling moving down to the knees, and the shins and the calves, the ankles, heels, even the toes. Stillness. Invite stillness and calm. Feeling of gratitude. Feeling of contentment. Letting all inhibitions fade away. Just being in the now. Enjoying the breath. The calm. I'll invite you to say these words to yourself 3 times. The conviction and belief. And those words are, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I'm going to leave you here to enjoy this for as long as you want. Thank you again for coming, and I hope you all enjoy a wonderful evening.